Hey, it's all, and welcome back to Warcraft Weekly, which is, okay, it's less weekly, but more 10.1 follow-up reactions, but whatever the case, hit the like button, subscribe for more copium-filled content, and this week was huge! I had myself some of my favorite ice cream. It was that wild. Patch 10.1 made its debut this past Wednesday like a meteor, with content creators leading the charge, overwhelming social media with news and interviews before the WoW team dropped in after we were already exhausted from information overload and laid waste with even more information bombs. So today I'm going to try and put a spotlight on just a couple smaller things and commentary that might have gotten lost in the Priest versus Paladin tier discourse. And you know, for the record, I'm happy for Priest. They have an absolutely terrific set. Paladins also have a great set. I mean, look at how cute and stubbly I look. So let's talk about professions and crafted gear for a little bit. Primal Chaos as a resource, it's dead, it's gone, and it's no longer needed to make epic gear. As you can see here, all you need are resources like the ore and a spark. There are a number of cool new recipes coming. Most of those are embellished kinds of gear with new effects. However, the existing recipes can be used to make Season 2 gear. All you need is a Season 2 spark. This also means that you can recraft your existing gear by just plugging in these new sparks. And here's what's even better, I think. But of course, keep in mind that this is the first build of the PTR and everything is subject to change. But from the looks of things, recipe difficulty isn't going up any higher than it currently is. Long story short, making the highest quality and best item level gear or items in Season 2 is going to be no more difficult than it is to make the equivalent items in Season 1. As for specializations, it doesn't seem to have gotten any deeper or wider either. The goalposts are not changing, at least not with regards to wanting to make high quality items and learn recipes outside of the few new ones that are coming in 10.1. There are folks out there who do want catch-ups, or they're gonna feel like they're hopelessly behind. We've been hearing that all over the place, and you're probably sharing that sentiment. From the looks of it though, assuming that profession specializations and difficulty does not expand in 10.1, even if there is no big early catch-up that's made available, it is cool to know that being hopelessly behind, it's not going to feel worse with a new season. As for crafted epics, they're getting a bump up in item level. The best crafted gear is going to be equal to that of the best Mythic Plus gear that you can get from the Great Vault, and that's thanks to these crests that enchanters can make if you can give them the materials. Now there's a catch as always though. These materials are not unlike farming for those primal infusions and concentrated primal infusions, but from my observations so far, you may have to run keys way higher than 16s in order to get these materials. I'm gonna guess like plus 20s. If true, and don't take my word for it yet, that's gonna affect player behavior for sure. If crafted gear will be equal to gear from the Great Vault, well, players, notably top players, they're going to be a little bit more measured on what they choose to do with their Season 2 sparks. And I'm guessing the schedule of sparks, it's going to be that same 1 every 2 week schedule. And the entire landscape of Mythic Plus is going to change, I think, because we're no longer going to need score in order to upgrade dungeon gear. When score came in, it was great, because at first, before that, it was a hard requirement to time 15s in order to get Keystone Master, and then we can finish upgrading our gear. At the moment, we only need to hit a certain score, meaning we could suck at some dungeons while excelling at others. But now that score won't matter at all for upgrading gear, you gotta wonder, how are people gonna treat this lineup of dungeons in Season 2? Now, out of these, there are going to be favorites and there are going to be dead keys simply because of what dungeon it is or what gear that drops for a particular person or class or spec. In fact, if we're to step back and look at the big data during Season 2 later on, it's not going to surprise me if overall score went down, because we're going to see just, who's doing it for the score and who's just doing dungeons for the gear. This isn't immediately a bad thing either, it's just going to shed light on what our motivations really are as players and perhaps create this beneficial divide in this sub-minority. I got a taste, just a taste, of the Farok assault. It's straight up hilarious because Farok pulls like a budget Deathwing by flying through the zone, laying waste to anyone who's in his rage bubble. And the assault is worth farming because of the veteran level gear that drops. And so you know, veteran is gear with an item level range that starts at Raid Finder and it peaks at the last bosses of normal difficulty raids. And I also want to talk about the updated roadmap for Dragonflight in 2023. Let's take a look. The notable changes are over on the Season 3 side that talk about the new open world challenges and other new renown track, aka another major faction. Season 3 is already going to be loaded because it's going to most likely include the 2 new Mythic Plus dungeons in the form of the Split Mega Dungeon coming in patch 10.15. I actually forgot about that. What really hypes it up for me is that otherwise, there's no significant changes here. They're doubling down on their commitments and nothing's being like pushed back or erased. And after this week, I'm both impressed and seriously, I'm like really exhausted just trying to keep up, let alone help fill you in on all of what's going on. I don't think I can emphasize this enough, seriously. I mean, some of you may remember a few years ago with patch 9.1 in Shadowlands, that was Chains of Domination, you know, with returning to the Maw, and then Korthia, which was like more Maw. It was a different time with different circumstances, different sickness levels, and the contrast is depressing, but it's exciting too because now we're past that. And look at what we've got. We're getting a pretty big zone and these really beefy updates and class revamps and an entirely new set of dungeons for Mythic Plus. We're getting this ambitious change to gearing in the expansion's second patch. And we have this stubby little thing right here. Wow. I know that I'm on a certain side of the WoW fandom and I have a vested interest in this game, but I'd like to think that if I were to be as objective as possible, this week, this announcement, this Dragonflight thing, so far is a huge win. And you know what? Yeah, I'm tired. That's the show.
Defensive.
If you have a...
Come on.
Okay.
Come on. 3K.
Congrats, dude.
After this amazing week, I had to break out the ice cream after a really epic win. So huge grats to the guild for coming through just a few weeks before 10.07, which was, you know, just a personal goal of mine that I wanted to hit. But I also want to sort of apologize for last week's weekly, where I brought up the subject on if the WoW team doing these incremental patches and teases is actually wearing people out. And this was when I already knew about 10.1 being announced, and you know, I was booking an interview and all that, which was super exciting. So I do apologize for kind of sort of dragging the spirit down. I sometimes make mistakes when it comes to the coverage that I do, or when I play devil's advocate, or in the expressions when I make the title or the thumbnails, which are frankly critical to the success of any channel on this platform. So for those of you who made it to the end here, I'd like your critical feedback. And you need hold nothing back. You can comment here, you can DM me on Discord or Twitter or email if you're really desperate, because I can look at the numbers on the back end. I just want to read your words too, because that's important to me, because I love doing what I do and I don't want to stop. And you don't need to worry, I'm not like in danger or anything, but I mean, if I'm like here right now, I want to find out reasons why I might, you know, why am I not like here or up here? Obviously what I cover, this 20-year-old game, that's a factor, I already know that, but your personal insights, they're more valuable than you think. So that's it for that. Now I want to just give a big shout out to our Twitch folks and our patrons who keep the coffee coming, to the WoW team for letting me be one of their inside folks, to Taliesin for, you know, being okay, and to you viewer for making it to the end and feeding that YouTube algorithm. And yeah, I've hit burnout. I'm pretty beat, and I still have lots of characters to level. I've got a guide to write and I got a jingle to finish, so I wish you well. Share your excitement and your feedback in a comment below. Like and subscribe, catch me live, and thank you once again for your kind words and support. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.